The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Good morning, everyone. Basil Chapman here on this Tuesday, the 23rd of September. And this is an early edition, 8:06 in the morning Eastern Time. It'll be replayed at 10 o'clock. We're looking at the Dow futures. Let me just go to the futures right here. The futures are trading in Leg E up 56 points at 46,779, all-time high. The E-mini futures are trading also in Leg E, down 2.50 at 67.50, having made an all-time high yesterday. Haven't quite taken it out today yet. We're going to look at the QQQ, but I'm going to first take the futures, which is the NQ. NQ in Leg E, gosh, a lot of E's. I'm anticipating that we're getting very close to at least some stalling, some kind of a struggle in the market, more to do with all the subsidiary things that are going on that might become more important over the next, I'd say going into next week, into October. Let's go to the RTY, which is the Russell 2000. Hasn't made a new all-time high. I did it 3 days ago. The IWM, that's the cash, the index itself, made a peak. See, everything about it suggests that it should go to 245.58, 1 penny above the previous high of 2 sessions ago. That was Friday. And that'll be a D. And then I think, you're going to look at this and say, okay, sideways, maybe down. We've been looking at this much closer. Look at the semiconductors, the SMHs, all-time high yesterday. Down 26 cents today, 321.91. Yesterday's high, let me just change this because that was from a couple of days ago. All-time high yesterday. And what did it get to? 323.14. Let me just change that, 323.14. So with that said, we've just covered essentially the key indices. But what about the other ones? What about gold? Well, gold, all-time high, as we're speaking, up another 37 points at 38.12. No, 3,813 now. Yep, all-time high. Another leg E in the daily chart, leg D in the weekly chart, leg E in the monthly chart. Gosh, let me just go to the GDX. We always want to know about that. All-time high at 74.90, 57. Ew, I did say all-time high, didn't I? Let me just check that out. If we go all the way back, no. Yep, 66. We're already above the 66 point. Oh, that's right. I remember now. I have lost all that data. I haven't lost it because of being shut down. I've lost it because I believe, I'll check that out in the next couple of days, that TradeStation just didn't keep taking. I used to have this all the way back, and then I had that beautiful bowl formation, a long multi-year bowl formation. That's like a flat base that broke out back in 2000. That was the XAU. Oh, that XAU. Right now, the XAU is trading, it's a 291.07. So this is not trading right now after hours, but that is looking fantastic. All right, so now let's go to silver. Silver at this particular point is trading up sharply. It's up 33 cents at 44.54. And that, let me check this one out. I think we were looking at that horizontal line. Yeah, we've broken that. So the level to be looking at is 58.31 back in, that was a peak E back in April of 2011. And here we are at 44, so we've got a little bit of a way to go. Very good. All right, I wanted to do high-grade copper. High-grade copper, let me just make this smaller. There, high-grade copper, HG. And what are we looking at? We're looking at 4.63. Yeah, just not doing very much. I do want to go to crude oil because crude oil is very important. At this point, it's up 70 cents at 62.98. Is it building? Look at this. If you draw a trend line, just a simple trend line, just joining the outer wicks, go from there to there, put that in. That's the Chapman wave inside track, support level, propellant. Yes, it is propelling. So at 62.99, I'm just watching because at any point, for whatever reason, I don't care what the reason is, if the market says, oh, be careful, because crude oil is breaking above 64.5, I got to start looking at that and saying, well, that weekly chart, the 9-period moving average is going to go back to green, and it could actually go quite a bit higher, but it hasn't done that yet. Okay, bonds, I'm waiting for bonds. There we go. The bonds are up 630 seconds at 116.5. Nah, nothing to see at this particular point. I want to see the bonds moving towards the 118, 119 area so that you can get the yields to come down. I just want everything off the table that it could be a potential hazard. So, all right, now, a couple of things. I was asked that when I do this, let me just look down here. So, slow gene, okay, IWM, I did all that. Yeah, so the question was, could I look at Tesla to see whether Tesla has very much more? This has been a spectacular move. It's been against a backdrop of pretty negative news, and then all of a sudden there's something that really sparks buyers' interest and it powers up. Well, Tesla trading pre-market up 5.60 at 439.82. That's only a leg C it's E in the daily chart, but it's a leg C in the weekly chart. And most importantly, let's just go through the things that I like to look at. I like to look at the 9-period moving average. Yep, that's nicely above the 14 in the weekly chart and the daily chart. Price is way above the 9. The MACD, this is the MACD right here, the green and red lines, the looking good, expanding. This is the relative strength, RSI, this gray line, acting very nicely. The stochastic is at 92%. I mean, that's what you want if you're looking positively at a chart. And the on-balance volume is not oversold yet. It's still very good. So that weekly chart is very important. But think of this as a large rectangle formation. What does a large rectangle formation say? It says that if the price that you're following comes down sharply and it starts to make a stair-step move to peak A, then a B, it could even go to a C and a D that could possibly go to just under, right on, or just above the previous high, in this case 448.54, the week of 20th of December 2024. And here it is at 439. So 439, that's a long way to go. 439 to 488. Well, the most important thing is if I did a left side, right side price tie match on, there we go. Yeah, well, here's the break. After the break, I'll come back and I'll show you what this portends. And that portends somewhere in possibly October, November, but that's when we could do it. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, early edition of the Tiger Technicians Hour. I'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Hi folks, we're back. Basil Chapman. This is the early edition of the Tiger Technicians Hour. The Dow futures up 45, the S&P down 1.125, the NASDAQ up 250. So this is going to be a very interesting close to the session. Why? Because everything I'm looking at is suggesting that there are certain undercurrents that could become a little bit more volatile. And therefore, the spectacular rally we've had in some areas over the last week or so might slow down. But at this point, I don't have anything. Let me just go to this. I'll show you something here. If you're looking at, say, the semiconductors, look, semiconductors, very strong move. Took out the resistance that we were looking at, the trend line resistance, rallied strong, went to an all-time high. The stochastic is at 93%, and the MACD is still expanding. You see the little histogram? Let me show you. Let me click here. The histogram is the distance between the green and the red line. Very, very strong. So for the market might stall, but for it to actually turn around, there has to be bad news, and the bad news has to be something that impacts the market in such a way that it is it proliferates and it just permeates all areas of the market. And if it does that, then the news media picks it up and then it becomes a theme. And we haven't had that yet. And that's the only thing that when you get the Dow down 480 or 520 and the S&P's down 58 or 62, and then the next day it doesn't. So we haven't seen that for ages. That we are due for one of those sell-offs. We haven't got it yet. Let me just go back to Tesla because I just remember that I did it during the break, but I forgot to tell you about it. So this is the pattern that I'm looking at. Huge cup formation, lopsided cups like a gravy cup. And the other thing that we're looking at is got the Chapman wave inside wedge, dashed green resistance, target resistance line. And that suggests if that continues the way it is, then before October, before November, sometime in October, we should see a test of this high that was made right here the week of 20th December of 488.54. Let me type that in just so that I know where it is. 488. I think I said 54. There you go. Okay. So it's gone from 214 and doubled, more than doubled as it is right now, to 440, right? 214 to 440. Now, this is going to be very interesting because if you go to, let's see, BYDDF, that's the Chinese bid, it doesn't look very good at all at 14, and it was at 60 earlier, just April or so. Something's going on. That's the one. If you're looking at, let's see, RIVID, Rivian, RVIN. That's Rivian right now. Why am I skipping it? RIVN. Yeah, Rivian. On its own, looking at it as a, without putting it into context with Tesla, look, it's a very weak monthly chart. If you look at it on the weekly basis, it's got this double cup formation, that's like a U, and it's acting well at this particular time, but it's underneath the 17.15 high of the week of the 23rd of May. So it's repairing some damage. I look E, let's make this a brand new, here we go, E. That's the end of that move. So you put a down arrow. And look, there's the up arrow. And it goes peak A, peak B, in leg C. So this is acting very nicely right now, but you can't even compare it. So I've been saying this for quite some time, that out of all the companies, the EV companies, the ones that I look at least, I still think that Tesla is the one, because it's really a battery. It's got many other facets to it. So I think Tesla's the one. And I want you to then look at, I was asked to look at General Electric. Is it still leading? Yes, it is. Right now, it's at 301.02. Made a high yesterday, I believe. Let me see if that's correct. 303.03. 303.003, yep. Yesterday, high. Still very, very strong. All-time high. This is General Electric. Then I was asked, could I compare GE and GEV? Well, I don't know if you can compare them. They do different things, because GEV is, in fact, GE Vernova LLC. This is the Global Energy Resources. 3 months ago, it made an all-time high. And that was the week of the 1st of August at 677.29. It's made a little round trip here, making kind of a V-shape or a cup formation, trying to get back again, which I think it will, to that high. That day, it was the 31st of August, of July. It had a 677.29 high and a 6660 round number. So I'm just looking at this, and I think this is acting very well. Will it go much higher than it is right at this moment without a breather? I'm not sure. It's down $1.37, pre-market is $6.43. But I think if it can break 664, 663 to 664, if we can go above that, then it'll quite quickly go to 677. But GEV is must hold over the next, what's today, Tuesday. So by Friday, it must not take out yesterday's low, which is 620.11. Next question I had was, could I look at General Motors? And I mentioned this the other day. General Motors had a 60 round number high. The most recent high, I should say. And that was on the 12th of September. 60 was the high. It's trading right now at 58.88, very close. It's in this rectangle. If this digestive phase lasts too long without going nicely above 60, nicely meaning like 62.5, then there's a good chance it's going to slip and go towards that 56 area. But so far, I'm kind of impressed with GE holding as it is. 67.21 was a January 22 high, slumped down to 26.30 back in November of 2023. So this is a nice comeback. I'm kind of impressed with this pattern. I do think that there's a chance that if it does a digestive phase, then this peak E that was made in the weekly chart could in fact continue to test the outer boundaries, and it makes this low right here, this low of the 10th of September of 56.61, just 2.5 point count. It makes, I would even put this low right here, the low of the 21st of August at 56, that's the high, 55.09. So I would say 5 points support. If there's a real sharp market turn down, that's going to be very important. But right now, General Motors, certainly if you compare it to Ford, it's much, much better looking chart. Toyota Motors, I haven't updated it yet, but Toyota Motors, look at that monthly chart making it kind of a U-shaped pattern. Weekly charts improved at 200. If you're looking at the daily chart, so that's A, B, C, D, E, F. This is a brand new A to a B. You know what? This looks very much like the Chapman unconventional flat base restart. What I'm going to say is that unless Toyota Motors trading at 200.50 right now can start to trade in the 205s, it could be in a rectangle formation as well. So I'm going to be watching that because that's certainly not a bad looking chart at all. So General Motors and Toyota Motors are doing quite nicely. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, early edition. The Dow futures are
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Tiger Technicians Hour is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, folks, we're back. This is the early edition. This is 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. and I've recorded my show early. So there was some news, some economic news that came out, and the market suddenly dipped a little. The futures dipped just a little bit, down 4.20 in the S&P. We're looking at the Dow still up 43. Not sure what it is. So I had a question about SoFi Technologies, Inc., online banking, financial solutions, student loans. So look, this has not got such a long history. It goes back to February of 2021, a few months after it IPO'd in 2020. It hit 28.26, and that was it. Went all the way down to 424. Then it made the beautiful cup formation, the same kind of formation I showed you in Tesla in the weekly chart. This is a monthly chart. And look, within a few months of this left side, right side price time match, meaning from the midpoint, the plumb line that I chose, to where I thought it could go, it went higher, above the 28.26 level. And here it is at an all-time high at 29.81, closed yesterday, 29.88 pre-market. And we're now looking at, and the question is, what about? I've liked it a lot for a long time. We've had Bank of America for some time, and I said at some point I might either switch out and go to a more contemporary bank, and more not that Bank of America is fuddy-duddy, but I think that things have changed enough to say that some other area in the banking, the whole spectrum of banking, will predominate over the next 20, 30 years. So I think SoFi is in that category. I like it very much. When I spoke about it, and I spoke about it with subscribers, I said down here in the 26 area, 26 to 29 long term, that's 3 points is nothing. But I didn't want to do anything yet. If you're looking at Bank of America, look, all-time high, also all-time high. It's done very well. It hit that 50.20. Let me just see what it was, 50.11 target from February of 2022. We've had this many times, and this last time is the longest we've had it, and that was the target, and I went to it, and now it's above that. But we don't have that much left, and I'm just thinking I must consider it something like a SoFi. I like this very much. So I think the question, I think you do actually have SoFi. If you do, I just say, hold it. Actually, this is one of those that I would just keep it as a long-term position. It could become quite volatile, but looking out, I think this is a very fine company. There are a couple of others. What is it? COF, is it? COF? COF is Capital One. Yeah, I think Capital One is quite aggressive. They always got these ads going. Yeah, I think Capital One is another one, different price ranges. This is at 225. So, yeah, I like it. And this is what I would say to you. I've got it in leg C, which says it could pull back and then have one more pop. And just on a stretchy basis, above the 9 is over the 14. That's very good. The MACD is very good. Stochastics at 90%. On balance volume suggesting that's a little bit overbought. So I'm suggesting to you that it could maybe either not make a new high today, with the high is 30.30. Maybe it doesn't get there today. And then maybe the next couple of days it gets to a D. And then I think you've got to be a little bit careful. Where would I like to add to the position if I've got it and I'm looking to add? This is the cluster right in here in the 26s. Maybe 26 to 25. It depends on the market conditions, and it also depends on how high it goes. If it goes to 32, I'd have to raise that support. So I'm just saying this is the area that I would like to consider it. And at 27, yes, it's a fairly low price for a financial institution. That's got nothing to do with whether it's cheap or expensive. That's a whole different thing based on PE and multiples, etc. But as I'm looking at it chart-wise, see this cluster that I drew in some time ago with the instant restart where it goes from D, within 3 bars it goes to a higher high where you can have an alternate count, E/A, F/B. This is the area right here in the 23s. So I would just say on any pullback, it's going to be a big market pullback, because for this acting so well with a stochastic at 90 to come down sharply, and I've got the same thing at peak C in the XLF. So everything here is suggesting somehow or other before we get a deeper consolidation. And look at this XLF, the S&P Select Financial Spider Fund. Isn't that interesting? Look, it's gone. It's rising. but it cannot get out of its own way in terms of this beautiful Chapman Wave inside track repellent zone. It just it can't do it. Hasn't done it yet. And when it does it, it's going to be a really spectacular move. So I'm just saying to you, all of these in the financial area that I'm looking at right now are suggesting there's some limited upside. The downside has good support just based on the technicals, but you don't know until you actually turn down how deep it's going to be, because that depends on the width between the 9-period moving average tucking underneath the 14 to go pink. So that's all we can say. Okay, so back. So the question was SoFi, and the answer is I like it very much. Where would I add to it? On any, maybe any 12% pullback, I think you could start to add. Like the next question came in, GME, it's GameStop. Funny, I was walking past the GameStop the other day in the Chestnut Hill Mall. And I thought, and whenever I go by, which is not that often, there's so few people. I don't know how they make money, but they evidently do, because they're still there. And it's a pretty darn expensive rental. So I'm looking at this. I'm not sure what the question was. It was GameStop. Yeah. So let's just do this. A, B, C1. Oops, C1. See, out of all the innovations that I've made in the Chapman Wave methodology that I've started to monitor way, way closer, it's this peak C1, C2 as a top, okay? And this becomes A. So there's your peak D. Remember the Chapman Wave methodology? The objective is to start off, identify the lowest low bar, and then count each successively higher peak. When it gets to B, that's when you can see whether or not it gets upgraded to a buy mode. If it does, that means it should go to a D, and then it's in leg D at 26.86. And pre-market, it's up 8 cents. And the stochastics, 90%. MACD is still good. Now look at this cup. We see, we were talking about a cup formation before. This, they all look pretty much the same. They had a high back in January or so, had a low back in April, rallied, and in this case, it went to a May, I think. Let me just check. What was the high? Yeah, May the 30th, week of May the 30th, it goes to 35.81, and then it comes down, and now it's got a peak A, peak B. Yeah, so look at this, 9-period moving average for the first time since June has flipped to green, but you have to wait till Friday to confirm it because it's a weekly chart. So I'll do a little more when we return. This is GME GameStop trading at 26.89 pre-market. Basil Chapman Tiger Technicians Hour, early edition at 8:38, and the Dow futures at 40.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade.
Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Folks, we're back. Basil Chapman, early edition of the Tiger Technicians Hour. Check out my opening call. We've had some really nice positions, and I just can't complain about that because I didn't certainly expect the last few days to see a whole surge in new power come into the positions that we have, but that's the way it is, thank goodness. So GameStop GME trading at 26.88, up now 10 cents. Leg D, but all the technicals are good. I would do this. So I'm going to make a recommendation. Let's see, the recommendation would be, let me just go back here. I want to get, it's over there, all right. So I'm going to just scroll down a little bit more. And there it is. Okay. So, Nitram, I'm going to suggest that I'm going to do this on a technical basis, but I think you should have technical and fundamental. I'm going to recommend you put the same question in when Tommy comes in for his show at 9 o'clock, because he really knows this a lot better than me. And also he has a little one, so he knows, he's more current. So that's really important. But what I'm going to say to you is that based on the history of GameStop, it's like a meme stock. Nothing happens until all of a sudden it becomes the name du jour. Okay, and that seems to be the case since it was down at 22 around early September. And here it is, 27, so 5 points, 20-something% gain. All I'm going to say to you is, on a purely technical basis, the weekly chart, 9-period moving average is finally crossed positive. The stochastics is still weak at 39%. On balance volumes rallying. MACD is improved. Relative strength is actually improving a lot. I like it just on a technical basis, but certainly a close is at 26.70, 26.90 right now. This is an inverted Chapman, a green inverted Chapman wave Roman candle. It says that at any point in the next, usually I want to do it within 1 day. It could be 2, never 3. It says 1 or 2 days. If it's longer than that, you just treat it as a little bit of information more than anything else. But in this case, it's a technique. And it says that if GME, GameStop, can trade for about 90 minutes intraday, that's today, above 27.12, at 27.12 or higher, then there's a really good chance it'll not just test yesterday's high of 27.34, but I should mention there was a round number 26 open. So for all the action has been above 26, so that could negate that as a negative. So I'm just looking at it and saying if it goes above 27.12, make it 27. For about 60 to, I prefer 90 minutes, there's a really good chance it'll test the high of yesterday or probably take it out. Okay? Now, that's just one thing. What you're really looking for, I believe, is what am I looking at? And what I'm looking at is over the next week, going into the first full week of October. So that's not just next week, it's the following week. So let's call it 2 weeks. Over a period of 2 weeks, 25 is really important to hold. If it closes under 25, 24.63 is the 200-period moving average. That's going to act like a magnet. And it means that it could go dip under, but it's probably going to keep just getting stuck in the 2024s. So what you want to see is going into this coming Friday, any market pullback, or whatever it is, that either impacts GME or GM by itself has held yesterday's low of 25.97 and has gone into the 27.80 to 28.30 area. I would prefer if that was later in the week. I don't want it to happen today or tomorrow and then suddenly Thursday and Friday, big whoosh to the downside. I'd love to see by Friday it's held, it's hugging 26.80 to 27 as support. That's a big if. But if it does that, that means that whatever the market does, it might have a little bit of independence to the market, and that's what you want coming up in the next 2-3 weeks. Anything that has had a good move and then suddenly slides becomes a little bit vulnerable to profit taking. But if it can manage to hold under any duress, that's positive. I can't do very much because this ugly candle here, you have to go above it. You have to be trading above it, and that's 30.60. That's quite a way to go. So that's the candle that's going to take a while. And just on a visual basis, I would say that by the third week of October, if GameStop hasn't closed under 23, it can go sideways at worst, upside at best. This is the candle that you want to look at. If you want to see it break by any time in October, you want it to close above 30.60. That's the candle of the 13th of June. All right, hope that helps you. Next question came in. Oh, I didn't do, thank you for reminding me. Bitcoin. So I've been worried about Bitcoin. I've been saying that from what I'm looking at it, the 125,200 high of the 14th of August, spectacular double top, but I thought that it was going to be a well-earned rest, maybe more time than price. Well, it's gone down to the 108,000 area, and it bounced to peak D at 118,160, and now it's pulled back, and it's at 113,170 as we speak, made a lower low today. And I continue to say, I think Bitcoin needs some kind of impetus, some kind of trigger to be able to move. We don't use the word trigger. It needs some kind of impetus to move to the upside and going to the 120,000. And I just think it's going to take a little while to do that. It's just a well-earned rest. I don't want to see a close under 105,000. We are long. We've been long for quite some time, done very nicely. We have the iShares IBIT, but we've still kept a good chunk of this. I'm just a little bit worried that it could make this H pattern. So 110,000 on very short term, key support 110,000. Hope that helps you. Next question was, where did it go? Yeah, could I look at those? Where did it go? There it is. Could I look at IONQ? IONQ, Ionic Inc. is in the computer. Oh, wait a minute. 74.44 up 250 again, another all-time high. Wow, it just doesn't stop. So this is for the sector. This is really good. Where do I think support is? Support, well, it depends on how high it goes. Right now it's at 74, in the 74s. High yesterday was 73.17, so it's all-time high. If it keeps us up all the way through to the open at 9:30 in 40 minutes time. Right. So as I see it, each stair step has had huge move to the upside, which implies and also a very sharp move to the downside. So what I would be looking at is, this is leg C. Let's just say it goes to a peak D. Yeah, it's between 78 and 81, right? Just imagine. That means you've now raised it from where it is at this point on the print, that is at 71.92 on that's on paper. But in reality, the futures are now much higher. and that just says 61, 30, 87 is the 9-period exponential moving average. Support to 57 is the 14-period. That's key support at the moment. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman, 30th edition of the Tiger Technicians Hour.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Hi folks, Basil Chapman, early edition. This is at 8:54. We've got the Dow futures up 47, S&P futures down 1. Just let me do this real quickly. So a question came in, could I look at AG, which is first... typed in the wrong place. First Majestic, AG, there it is. This is looking really strong. It's up 24 cents pre-market at 12.38. I've got this leg E. The main thing about this is that whole area between 10.52 and 9.80 is really good support over the next week or two. It's doing very well. And I would just say that the way it looks right now, the 12.50 area to 12.80 might be some kind of resistance. And the next one was HMY Harmony. Harmony right now, I typed it in the wrong place. Just really, I want to get to this because Mr. Oz, I'm going to go through this tomorrow in my regular time. This Harmony is only a leg B in the daily, leg D in the weekly chart, because under the previous high, I wanted to discuss this. I had this all ready to discuss a few days ago, and then I forgot all about it. And the monthly chart has this huge breakout to the upside. I need to talk about this instant restart, which took out the left side low. So I'm going to have to do this. I'll do this in greater detail tomorrow. It's acting very well right now. It's up 33 cents. So with that said, I'm going to hand you over to Tommy O'Brien for his morning market kickoff. I hope that the question will come in for GME, if he can look at that for our Denner, who was asking about it, and so that'll be for Nitram. And the other thing is, I'll try to be back this afternoon for the interview. I don't know if I'm able to do that. I'll have to let Tommy know. But in the meantime, back at the ranch, have a wonderful day. If the Dow, let me just do this before we get to the break itself for the close of the show. If the Dow, which is at trendline resistance right now, and pre-market is up 45. If the Dow, cash Dow, is up about 65 points or more after 130, that'll indicate that there's a good chance for a positive close. I'm just a little cautious that there's a sudden turn down later in the day. So if it's down minus 50, we have to watch what happens tomorrow. I'm just in this area right now. I can't complain. We've had some really nice positions. We took a 30% profit in one, just a tad off yesterday. Just things are working.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from